Today, we're going to talk about if you have to be a specialist to get hired online. Many people think that you have to be specialized, and then there's two big mistakes that virtual assistants and freelancers make when they're starting their business. So, let's talk about that today. Okay, so let's talk about this whole misconception that we have to be specialized in order to get hired, especially when we're new. And I'm going to tell you how I'm turning this industry on its head. I want to talk about the difference between a generalist and a specialist and why this is so important. One of the mistakes I see VAs make very early on, and I audit a lot of web pages. I help my students and other freelancers with their portfolios and outreach, and I get my eyes on their things. One of the things I see is people release their websites and they just have every service under the sun. And what does that do? It creates confusion. And a confused mind doesn't buy. That's a marketing adage. We all know that we need to be clear. Clear is kind, right? So I really want to encourage you to hone in on the job title and the position you want. You got to start doing that with your job titles too and being focused. And so a good rule is rule of three. Focus on three main services. So you're not too general and too broad. That's really the problem here. So if you're into ops, if you're into admin, if you're an executive assistant, if you're into project management or something even customized and creative, think about three main buckets. And it's really important that you don't overwhelm someone when they're looking at your site. It should be very, very clear. Now, a lot of VA coaches teach you to niche down right away. And I think there's the kind of a misconception that niche means very specific, very tailored in. You don't have to have it all figured out. You can kind of bucketize things and change things and let them evolve as you get your foot in the door, as you see your own demand. And so you kind of choosing some of these most in-demand services is key. Now, if you want to do something incredibly specialized in the future, I encourage you to go there. But the second mistake I see VAs making is being too specialized too early when they haven't really built a name for themselves. In some cases, they haven't even done the service yet. And it's just doing your business a disservice. That's why nobody is booking with you. And that's why this, general advice from these VA coaches to niche is bad. You have to find that happy medium of being a little bit specialized and generalized enough where you can roll with the punches and be the person they want to hire. Business owners want someone to help them with multiple things. They don't always have the most perfect job description, but what they're looking for is that person I described at that beginning, that A player. So if you're too specialized, you're too defined in your scope and what you do, you're not the teammate that they're really looking for. And so this sweet spot of being a generalist and a specialist is kind of where I come in, kind of blazing trails here. And we have this job role called digital marketing assistant. And so if you're figuring out where to start, like look for that position where there's the most jobs. And once you get your foot in the door, you can start specializing. And so then the question I get is, well, how is a digital marketing assistant different than a VA? A DMA is a type of VA. There's all types of virtual roles out there. People who are freelancers, who are 1099s, getting paid as an independent contractor. You're a self-employed business owner. You're not an employee. So digital marketing assistants have to understand where the business is going, how to take the client's marketing strategies and execute it. And the reason I love this sweet spot is because no one else is doing it. If you can claim this title, if you can know how to do the work and do it well and optimize for the best marketing possible, you will set yourself up to be that specialist in the future, especially if you're coming to the table with no network, no clients who know you, no amazing reputation, not a lot of testimonials, no crazy website. This is how you get started quickly. So there's a couple core areas that digital marketing assistants need to know. We need to know email marketing. And it's not just copying and pasting an email into MailChimp and sending it out. There's so much strategy involved. There are so many tagging, segmenting, knowing your audiences, knowing opt-outs, knowing how to do promotions, all of that. The other thing you need to know is content marketing, because we are helping our clients feed the algorithms. And most important thing we can do for a small business is to help them show up consistently. I learned this lesson hard and fast with my early on clients, which clients I should keep and stay with, which clients were going places. And the number one thing is consistency. So that consistency is what all of these 99% of these online business owners are struggling with. And that DMA can help them post consistently to social and to email and show up for their audience. So you're helping grow the audience with these tasks because you know how to optimize things. You know what you need to be doing. You can take over the reins and let your client go on vacation. They don't have to do all of the work. You can take over. And you're also nurturing this audience. And that consistency, it matters for every single brand. Our digital marketing assistants also, we need to know websites. We need to know enough to be able to make changes, to do a quick landing page, to understand what our client needs to sell their product. It could be a digital product, it could be a service, it could be a physical product. Most of the client leads we're getting are online businesses, but we can absolutely help with e-commerce. We can help with brick and mortars. It's just the calls to action change slightly. That's the beautiful thing about this Unicorn Digital Marketing Assistant School is the skills you learn now, you can apply it to different businesses. And that's my goal. If you have a brain, you can go out there and you can apply it, what you're learning here. If you're good at what you do, if you have a brain, assistants don't stay assistants forever. If you're good at what you do, you'll level up and you'll get into more of a manager role. You'll get into more of a creative specialist role. You will not stay assistant. It's hard when you're starting. I don't want to be too broad. I don't want to be too general, but I don't want to be too specialized. That's why this is a gift to get your foot in the door, get the experience, and very quickly level up when you're ready. You do have to get started. You might have to take on that first client for 25. Your second client might be 30. You might have to grow into it. If you're really, really green, you don't have a lot of previous experience to tap into, you'll be at that lower end. You want to become a unicorn. You want the tech training, the marketing know-how. You want the support. You want the community. You need help with your mindset. You want the jobs. The Unicorn Digital Marketing Assistant School is open through Wednesday, October 19th. My goal is for you to get in there, understand the big level, big picture, high level marketing and online business strategies that business owners expect their team to know.